Just some quick stats before I ask this question. So favorites went 16-0 on Friday. First time this has happened since '92.
Mhm.
14 teams won by 20 or more during the round of 62. I mean, excuse me, 64. Top 16 seeds went 16-0 in the round of 64 for the second straight season, 7th time in history. And of course, that's from Brad Crawford with CBS Sports. Now, couple things. I want y'all to answer this, and we're going to start with Drew. It seems like with NIL, we were just talking about Caleb from
Yep.
UNC making 1.8. Are Cinderella runs, are they officially dead because of NIL? And then give me your confidence level in your champions based off your bracket too.
Yeah. Um, Dead? No. Are they down this year? I think so.
Yeah.
And I think part of that reason is that there are a lot more kids taking bags that ordinarily probably would have went to a program to develop, or maybe they would have went to a program closer to home. There's a lot of is it exigent? Exigent? What word am I looking for? Anyways, there's a lot of outside factors that
Extenuating? I don't know. I don't know.
I think I was
Yeah.
looking for exigent. Extenuating's fine too. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, there are a lot of outside factors that determine some of these rosters that we're seeing. I just, I don't know. I kind of thought it was a down year to start with. I think we may actually see a shift to kids going back to smaller schools as the NIL gets further and further into its life cycle. I think that I think we're going to see a lot of kids that just kind of flame out at these bigger institutions because they have no reason. They don't have a reason to be there other than to get paid. I mean, you just kind of see it in college football a little bit more now. But I think as college basketball keeps going on and
Yeah.
further, especially with some of these kids at these smaller institutions this year that got busted for gambling. I mean, that was a lot of kids
Yep.
immediately that just got zapped off their teams, and there was no time to replace them. It was the middle of the season. There was no time to go get a new transfer. You were kind of stuck with what you got, and that was what was that, 30, 40 players
Yeah.
at least?
Mhm.
So I think as we see those storylines kind of start to quell, I think as we see more and more kids who just realize money's not worth it, I can go be the man on this team, and still get paid a decent amount, as these other smaller schools, so they start to realize, like, hey, we're going to have to pay these kids. We're going to have to figure out a way to at least get our top two guys to maybe a fourth of what they would get from a bigger Power 4 school, or a WCC team or a WAC team. Like, we're going to have to figure that out. So no, I don't think Cinderella is dead in the future. I just think this year happened to be kind of a perfect storm for all of the elements for these teams. They just weren't very good.
Can I play off that
Yeah,
a little bit? Because
absolutely.
I have a theory about this. And when I think about Cinderella's being dead, it's in what way do you mean are Cinderella's dead? I think in the traditional sense, where it's like this is Florida Gulf Coast, this is Chicago Loyola. I think it's how you say-
Chicago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Loyola Chicago. Thank you, sorry. Or if it's one of those smaller schools like that, I think your Cinderellas, instead of being one of those schools, becomes a bigger branded school that's a non-traditional basketball powerhouse.
Yeah.
Because it's like, instead of going to a smaller school and being a part of a traditional Cinderella run, your Cinderella now becomes a Texas, who's not a traditional basketball powerhouse, but can afford to spend because they just have more money than like a High Point. So it's like, hey, you've got a kid that could be coming from, we'll use High Point as an example,
Yep.
that would be either going back for his senior year at High Point, be ready to carry the Cinderella run, but he doesn't want to go to Duke or North Carolina or Kansas or one of these traditional blue blood basketball schools and ride the bench and, yeah, make a bag, but he wants to play. So instead, you have a school like Texas or Miami or Missouri or like Southern Cal, who maybe has a bigger bag and can offer, and you're just going to play for a bigger brand. So I think that's where, as far as NIL stands now, and who knows what the future holds for how that changes and how the legislature changes, but those become your Cinderellas. Kind of like in college football, which I know they're not the same. The sports are not the same. So to compare college football and college basketball is like apples and oranges. But
Yeah.
you just have bigger brands that have more money that can afford to buy a player that would have carried a mid-major roster that was probably on par with like a lower tier SEC Big Ten, school. So they'll replace those schools. That's
Yeah.
kind of where I see this going, or at least
Right.
worry about it now.
And I mean, we had Miami of Ohio this year. They were undefeated.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it's not like there was there wasn't and VCU, they just beat North Carolina. I know with Caleb Wilson not there, but it's not like there weren't upsets this year. It's just you didn't see. I think people are missing that traditional like Wichita State type of team. Like that probably doesn't exist anymore. FGCU, that probably doesn't exist anymore. Those kids are on different teams, different rosters, bigger schools. Like it's probably for those runs to specifically happen. Yeah, it's probably going to take like a lot of overlooked kids being in the same situation on the same roster, just happen to be there. And then maybe they have to transfer in from other even smaller institutions. Like that's probably what this takes nowadays.
Yeah, and look, you have to remember, High Point, VCU, they ponied up the money. Like these schools have money. They have pretty damn good NIL packages now.
High Point is crazy.
Yeah.
Just like Grand Canyon, just like they've been doing the past couple of years.
And there's a ton of money. Like those High Point videos are incredible. Like the school is premier. Steakhouses on campus.
Saw that?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, my whole family was sitting there watching that. I was like, I saw that, one of those Instagrams come up from those the traveling school guys and all that stuff. It was so sick. And so, but they also have big NIL packages as well. It's like, it's going to happen. Like High Point was not that far away. Like, I know it's crazy, but it's like, you're talking about 4 or 5 missed shots. They don't let Arkansas get on those rolls. Like there's still a chance. Like Arkansas wasn't playing the greatest defense in the world. Like there's a shot. But all that to say, like, there's going to be some schools, but the biggest thing really now is there are 500 different pieces of analytics for these guys to pick brackets now and to make the right placement. And also guys are just getting a lot better at basketball on the top end. So to say all that, it's just better to pick nowadays for the committee because they can see they have too many metrics. And for them to mess up is really just botched. Like nobody would have to watch. You're not looking at anything. You're just like, oh, Kentucky's, got 25 wins. They're a 4 seed. It's like, that's what they used to do. It's like, oh yeah, you're Kentucky, or, oh, they would have put, Miami of Ohio would have been a 5 seed or a 4 seed 10 years ago. It's like, oh yeah, they're undefeated. They got to be a top 16 team. Yeah. Nope. Kidding me? No, dude. So those days are gone. That's what's happened. Now you got WAB, you've got net, you've got all these metrics, efficiency ratings. They're just not going to miss anymore. They're just not going to miss like they used to. So you're not mismatching teams. And then also for a big part of it is these, you mentioned it, these smaller schools are going to pony up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's coming.
I think when we were talking to the Spinellis last week, I think we're going to stop seeing these smaller school best players go take $500,000 and never play. Like, I think those lesson learners are like,
what was from UTC? Sorry.
Yeah, Malachi.
Yeah,
like Malachi
went to Gonzaga and just
wound up being a 6-man kind of guy. It's like, I don't know. Like for him, if UTC couldn't pony up, we're not putting anybody down. I'm just saying, like, let's say they couldn't pony up what Gonzaga could pony up, obviously. But what if there's somebody in the middle of the road? What if High Point? Or what if so-and-so middle team, North Dakota State, Sacramento State, those schools are probably going to pony up some money.
Yeah.
What if he goes there? Then there's like 2 or 3 of those. And also, they're creating competition amongst these boosters. There's some rich guy at XYZ college or university that's going to make somebody really good. There's too many ways of online money guys that are like, I'm just going to spend. You finally got it in. We start to get contracts. Like, you got to think about small things. I know we mentioned last week, like Luke Combs was talking about this about Appalachian State. Did y'all see this?
Yeah. I was on Bussing with the Boys.
Yeah.
Where
so
he
was talking about the requirements about what he would need to be.
When those requirements come, there's going to be an influx of new money. There are very well-to-do business guys that probably didn't hop in. They don't have too much of an ego. That now these universities like App State. You ever been to that place? It's beautiful.
Boone, North Carolina.
It's beautiful, pretty great size, and if you're able to make $400K there, that's like a good living, dog.
Live like a king.
Good luck, living much on $400K in Miami. I don't know, and especially when they. But I think a big part of it's when they start signing contracts. When they sign contracts, we'll start seeing a few bigger runs. Yeah, because guys aren't going to be like, oh man, I gotta stay here for 2 years. And I think that's kind of like playing for your second contract. How would it be in the NBA? You're not like just getting this bag and leaving. It's like I've got to be here for 2 years if I want to go to another SEC school. It's going to cut down on certain guys being available and certain spots being available. So it's gonna be like playing for your second contract in the NBA. It's like, well, I'm not good enough to go to the pros. We're learning that, so I'm going to be here for 2 years. Yeah,
So like the Nico situation wouldn't have happened
exactly.
if it's set up. That's actually not bad at all.
No.